to Modern Alchemy, episode number
38.
38, yes it is. And we started speaking about the law of correspondence, one of the hermetic laws of the universe. We discussed last week that the law of correspondence, how's it most commonly stated, Bersabeh?
As above, so below.
That's right. And so if you want to know how anything works in this universe, then you can go and take a look at something that's working.
Yes.
And understand why it's working and how it's working. And when you apply the very same principles, then your new thing will work as well. And this is backed up by science as well. This is backed up by fractal geometry.
Yes.
So what we want to do today is talk about one of our favorite topics.
What are we talking about?
Relationships.
Oh my God.
You know, Bersabeh and I do a lot of work
In relationships.
Yes,
we do.
we have a 3-day experience called the relationship experience, which we work with just one couple at a time. Just one couple. And one of the things we find is that more couples need to use the law of correspondence to build their relationship. It's so severely needed. So remember, you look at how one thing's working and apply it to another thing, and that thing will work as well. Now, before we get into relationships, I want to talk for a moment, not about romantic relationships per se, but about friendships, because Plato, not Pluto, Bersabeh.
Ha ha. Yes, Plato.
Plato stated this, and I'm gonna quote this, Bersabeh, and then you tell us what you think it means.
Okay.
True friendship can only exist between equals.
True friendship? Yeah, I agree.
And why is that?
Well, I think when you have a true friendship with someone, you're both kind of on the same path.
You are.
Know? You're into the same things. You're into, the same direction. All that counts. So it would make sense in that sense that, you have to be equals. Yeah, equals in what exactly?
It could be to the positive. It could be to the negative.
Exactly.
When you look at frequent behaviors, attitudes, energies of your friends, it will tell you a lot about who you are.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you weren't like them,
you wouldn't be around them.
You wouldn't be with them.
You wouldn't be hanging out.
They wouldn't be your
them.
friends.
No.
So that applies to romantic relationships as well. So many times people want to put the blame on their partner. Well, how did you end up with that person?
Well, you're with them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're with them. So you must be a lot like them. Now, we're going to use the law of correspondence to work on building connected, communicative, loving relationships.
Yes.
But first, before we do that, let's talk about creating more magic in your relationships.
Yes.
More life, more magic in your life, in your business. If you're going to perform in these 3 areas, life, relationships, business, then you have to have 3 things. You have to have energy.
Yes.
You have to have focus. And you have to be healthy.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a fact. So just suppose you could have the energy to perform and accomplish not only in your relationships, what you need to do, but also in your life in totality and in your business. And you could have the focus to stick with it and to turn away from distractions. Oh, that's a big one.
Yes.
Bersabeh and I have tried a lot of nootropics over the years, and Magic Mind is literally the first one that isn't loaded with caffeine.
Yes, doesn't give you a crash.
That's a big one. You don't get that energy
jitters.
crash and get the jitters at the end of the day. As a listener to our podcast, you can get 20% off your first order of Magic Mind. Or better yet, if you sign up for a subscription,
you get 40% off,
like we do. That's right.
Yeah.
You get 40% off. All you have to do is go to www.magicmind.co/alchemy.
Yes.
Alchemy. Do you want to spell alchemy for them? Can you do it without reading it?
ALCHEMY.
That's right. Magicmind.co. Good job.
Thank you.
/alchemy, and make sure and enter the promo code alchemy20. That'll give you the 20% off and also the 40% off on your subscription.
Good stuff.
Highly recommend. Okay, now remember, if you learn how one thing works, you'll learn how everything works, and you can apply the same principles across the board. Let's look at building a business as an example.
Okay.
And we're going to apply that to relationships.
Let's do.
All right. So let's look at a business that's working. What are some of the principles of a business that is working, Bersabeh?
Well, there's structures.
Structures. Let's go even more basic. What is the business about?
Oh, they have one common goal.
How many people in a relationship know what their relationship is about?
Yeah, true.
Not many in our experience. Here's another one. What does the business stand for?
Yeah, what are your values? What is the business value?
Yeah. I mean, Bersabeh and I have the very same things we have in our business, we have in our relationship. We have a relationship purpose. We have a relationship value.
Yes.
We have a relationship vision. Because the law of correspondence tells us if that works in business, it's going to work in relationships. And so far, I think it's working pretty well, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And so, good answer. And so, how do you treat, here's another good one, for business, how do you treat and care for your team members?
Ooh.
Now, obviously, in a romantic relationship, which we're talking about right now, how do you treat and care for your team member?
That's right.
You know, do you understand what's important to her?
Yeah.
And do you do your best to fulfill that? Do you provide, here's another one for business, do you provide a valuable service? Okay, well, does that apply to the relationships, Bersabeh?
Yes. Are you providing, positive value growth into the relationship, or are you nagging, being negative, and always finding something wrong?
That's right. That's right. And a big one, a really big one, which I'm sure is no surprise to you, in a business, do you communicate clearly and frequently?
That's a big one.
It's a big one in relationships. It's a big one in business. And then finally, what's a quality of a high-performing business? Do you manage your assets well? What's the number one cause of arguments, disagreements, disconnects in relationships, Bersabeh?
Oh, finances.
Finances.
Yeah.
So, again, hopefully that gives you some ideas. And as I told you earlier, Bersabeh and I work with couples in relationships, and unfortunately, very few, like none, so far in our experience, put even a fraction of the energy into their relationship that they do as they do into their business.
That's true.
Here's something we'll leave you with. Applying the law of correspondence. When you apply principles first, like what's the relationship about? What's the business about? What do you stand for? What's your purpose, vision, values? All those things. When you apply principle first, then the practices will follow.
Very true.
Hopefully that's valuable for you today. Thank you so much. We're going to continue with the law of correspondence in our next episode, and we'll see you next Monday. God bless.
Bye.
Lots of love.